Hello, I want to welcome you to the power of our stories, Wounds to Wisdom, Healing Through Veteran and First Responder Narratives, author Storytelling Night. We are a community where veterans, first responders, and all protectors can connect, share their experiences, and heal together. So tonight, I want to introduce Melisssa Hanks Ketchel. About Melissa. Melisssa Hanks Ketchel is a Gold Star sister, devoted veteran advocate and keynote speaker who lost her brother, Lance Corporal Michael W. Hanks, in Fallujah, Iraq in 2004. Melissa specializes in non-traditional mental health care. She is certified in Neuro-Linguistic Programming, NLP, and trained in mental health first aid and suicide intervention. As a veteran community program director for a mortgage company, she excels in VA home loans. Melissa serves as the vice president of the 3rd Battalion, 1st Marines Association, and is the founder of the Michael Wayne Hanks Legacy Foundation. Her deep involvement with the Gold Star families and veteran organizations helps to keep the memory of her brother close. She is honored and always open to sharing her story of restoring meaning and purpose after a profound loss. Melissa lives in Huntington Beach, California. So, Melissa, I'm thrilled to have you share your story tonight. Welcome.
Hi.
Hey.
On the evening of November 17th, 2004, I put my 15-month-old son to bed, read my daughter Bear Wants More, and prayed for the safety of her Uncle Michael, my younger brother, who was deployed for the second time to Iraq, this time participating in the Second Battle of Fallujah. I then fell asleep beside her. I woke up not long after to the sound of my house phone ringing continually, and then my cell phone. They were ringing one after the other, making it impossible to sleep. The cell service at my small rental house was not very good. I could see I had a voicemail, but I had to leave the house to check it. Driving down the dirt road, I thought I would ride around the block and check my messages. The first message was from a buddy, checking in to see what I was up to on the weekend. The next message was from my ex-husband. The message was cryptic, his voice softer than normal. I heard something about your brother, and I'm not sure if it's true. Just call me back. I quickly dialed his number, and he answered with the same soft voice, despite me yelling, "What did you hear?" He stuttered. I'm not sure if it was true or not, and then his voice faded off. I screamed into the receiver as I made a left turn for the second time. "Just tell me." Stoically, he replied, "Melissa, your brother is dead." No, not my brother. I heard the words, but I couldn't quantify them. Not Michael, not my best friend, my partner in crime, the keeper of my past and all my secrets. How could he be gone from this world? How could he leave me? A lifetime of memories with him flashed before my eyes. Hiding under the Christmas tree, trying to catch Santa Claus, wiffle ball on the neighbor's lawn that their dad mowed into a baseball field, running wild in the neighborhood until the streetlights came on. The time when as teenagers we almost burned down a forest and laughed together after my mom spanked us with a plastic spatula, both of us fake crying because it didn't hurt. The last time I saw him, he was standing on the side of the road. We were leaving a bar and he was going to my parents' house and I was going home. Michael had pulled over to give me a CD. He had another copy in California, so he was giving it to me. I've never been a hugger, but when he got out of the car, I got out and hugged him. We laughed and drove our separate ways, saying the words, "See you later." Later would never come. There is a distinct before and after, a sea of what ifs. What if he didn't go back? What if he didn't play the hero that day? What if he didn't re-enlist to stay with his men? What if he just came home? Simple tasks such as getting out of bed and getting dressed became monumental challenges. The world carries on. People go to work, laugh, make dinner, and smile. While in grief, I was suspended in a state of disbelief. Each day I woke up, and before my eyes would open, it would hit me again. My brother is dead. The grief washed over me until I was numb. Losing Michael shattered our family in ways we couldn't have imagined. My younger brother turned to drugs. My parents divorced, and my plans for the future felt like they evaporated overnight. I thought I might die myself from sadness, a pain worse than any physical pain I had ever experienced. My kids were the reason I got out of bed in the morning, but I was only going through the motions, not truly living. Then one day I heard Michael's words looping in my mind. Everyone needs someone to confess to. He spoke those words to me 2 years earlier. October 8th, 2002, on Fallujah Island near Kuwait, U.S. Marines were part of a training exercise. One of these Marines was my brother, Michael Hanks. He joined the Marine Corps in January of the previous year before the horrors of 9/11. During a lull in their training, the Marines were playing a game of stickball when two Kuwaiti men opened fire on them. Two Marines were shot, and one Marine, Tony Sled, was fatally wounded. Although the war in Iraq had not officially begun, Sled's killing had been remembered by some as the first American casualty of the Second Iraq War. That day was a baptism by fire into war for those Marines. Sled became a rallying cry for the 3rd Battalion, 1st Marines when they went into Baghdad the following year. Between this training and being deployed into the initial invasion of Iraq, Michael came home to Michigan for a brief leave. While home to my parents' house, he came to my house for dinner. I was pregnant with my second child and fully immersed into my life as a wife and mother. During this visit, Michael told me he needed to talk and looked at me in such a way that I knew it was going to be something I didn't want to hear. I didn't want to hear about war or insurgents or people dying. I wanted to live in the blissful reality of my own ignorance. In a moment that I will never forget, he stopped and grabbed my arm. His 6'1" frame was much taller than mine at 5'7". He looked downward into my eyes with a desperation. He said, "Everyone needs someone to confess to." For him, it was me. Feeling the seriousness of the moment, we went for a drive to talk because it's private in the car and you don't have to look into the eyes of the person you're talking to. As I suspected, he told me about war, what happened on that fateful day on Fallujah Island, how people he loved died, and how his brothers captured and killed the insurgents that attacked them. That conversation would change the trajectory of my life. I just didn't know it yet. One day in the aftermath of his death, I decided to become the person for whom to confess for all those that served with Michael. I just started showing up, inviting myself to California, going to Vegas with several of those he served with, forging friendships over the phone with these men, my brother's brothers. I often joked that I was a sister they never wanted, but were stuck with. I quickly learned that my relationships for these men was just as meaningful for them as it was for me. We helped each other heal. The pain and heartbreak of losing my brother to war has been profound. It's not just him that I've lost, but the entire future I once envisioned, where our children would grow up together. He loved his role as uncle, showering my kids with affection. I'll never forget him, this big, tough Marine, flying from California to Michigan with a massive teddy bear on his lap, a Christmas gift for my daughter. When my parents and younger brother drive me crazy, I still get angry at Michael for leaving me. But at the same time, he gave me this incredible gift of friendship and those who served alongside him. We laugh, cry, and call each other during the good times and bad. I get to watch their children grow up and get the honorary title of Aunt Melissa. Some of these children's first or middle names are Michael. My children have grown up in the safety of protection of knowing that these Marines will show up to protect them. My daughter, Micaiah, now 22, was 4 when Michael died. She would often tell people she had 19 uncles and 17 of them were Marines. I live a privileged life that was paid for first by my brother's blood and then by my actions of showing up and holding space for the men who would trade places with Michael if given the choice. Together, we're carrying on Michael's legacy, honoring his memory and continuing to build the bond we've forged and lost. A bond strengthened by love and shared commitment. Nearly 20 years later, not a week goes by that I don't speak to one of the guys who served with Mike. Many combat veterans struggle with survival guilt, haunted by both the memories of war and those that they fought alongside who never made it home. This guilt often prevents them from reaching out to families of the fallen. These families, like mine, who have lost loved ones in service, share a profound understanding of sacrifice, honor, and an enduring impact of war. I would encourage any veteran to reach out to Gold Star families. By reaching out, you honor the sacrifices of their loved one and help them and yourself heal. I was often told, but I don't want to remind you of your brother's death. Hearing from those he served with does not remind me that my brother is dead. It reminds me that he lived.
Melissa, that was so beautifully shared. Thank you for introducing Michael to us. Really, it's so powerful. I just want to thank you so much for sharing your story. Um, what is it like now in your relationship? Um, What is your relationship like with a lot of the Marines now?
There's so many of them that I have a vast relationship. Some of them are like my best friends, people I talk to regularly, and some are people that we call in an emergency situation, like a lifeline to each other. But it's just kind of like any other family. They're all my family, and some like cousins or brothers. Some are closer like brothers, and some are more like cousins, but we're all really close. Excuse me.
Oh, it's just such a powerful story. You honor Michael just incredibly. As many times as I've heard your story, it just moves me and touches my heart so much. And you wrote this story so well. So I just want to thank you. And I want to thank anybody who's watching this. We're going to turn off the recording because we have just much more intimate conversations off the recording. But you can get our book, Wounds to Wisdom, Healing Through Veteran and First Responder Narratives on Amazon. And our goal for that is to help those that are suffering in silence heal. You can reach out to the authors. So we just want to encourage you just to connect and heal through these powerful stories of these brave Gold Star families and warriors. Thank you.